Welcome to Tech Leaders Today with your host, Cassie Crossley. All comments, views, and opinions expressed on this show are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers. Now here's Cassie Crossley.
Hello and welcome to Tech Leaders Today. I'm your host, Cassie Crossley, and I'm here with Matt Tumbleson. He is the founder and CEO of Teckst, the texting platform for customer service. Matt was also the first creative director of Seamless/Grubhub. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, Cassie. How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you so much for joining me. I am very interested to hear about what you're doing at Teckst. Can you tell people what your company does?
Absolutely. So Teckst, which is actually spelled Teckst, kind of creative way of spelling it. We are a platform for customer service teams to embrace text messaging with their customers. So normally when you have an issue, you have to either dial a toll-free number, send an email, or do a web chat. Meanwhile, you're text messaging with your friends. There was no platform that existed for customer service teams to be able to take advantage of that behavior. And so Teckst is that platform that allows customer service teams to directly, human-to-human, text message with customers to solve their problems.
That's pretty interesting. And I guess it provides some layer where any number of customer service representatives will be able to communicate with that single individual, that single customer.
Correct. And on the flip side, an individual customer could actually be transferred throughout a company, not even knowing that they're going from a general operator all the way through to either a return or an exchange or even a fraud prevention, and have their case fixed that way and their information transferred along in a really easy, readable way.
Interesting. So we'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but let me ask about where you're located first.
Sure. So we are in the heart of New York City. Our office is in Soho on the corner of Prince and Broadway. Anyone who's been around here has probably been shopping down in Soho. That's where we're located.
And what's it like to attract and retain technology talent in New York City? Everybody else, they talk about Silicon Valley and just different areas, but New York City has really grown as a technology center in the last 5 years. So what's it like for you?
So for us, our first hire was actually someone who lived in Washington, D.C., and we were able to bring them up to New York and relocate them. And it was a really, really great hire, some good talent from Lockheed Martin. New York is still, I would say, despite being a city with so many people, it's still a new and up-and-coming city when it comes to tech talent. Our VP of engineering, we had moved over from San Francisco, but some of the last hires that we made are from the greater New York City area and have been here for a while with some pretty interesting companies. So for us, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Obviously, there's lots of people in finance and marketing and things like that when you think of New York City, but the talent pool for engineering is getting better and better. And even on the junior side with companies like General Assembly, having 12-week kind of boot camps, we're starting to get a much better talent pool here.
Are there any universities in the area that are running computer science programs that you can get interns or other team members from?
Absolutely. Yeah. NYU has quite a few, as well as Columbia. And you know, New York City, there's lots of different universities and colleges here. Cornell is not far. Princeton is not far. And we have a really great train system. So one of our engineers actually lives in the heart of New Jersey, fairly far away. And he commutes in about an hour and 15 minutes every day, which is a normal thing that happens in New York. So we get access to quite a few really good interns who go to local universities.
And for the talent that you're hiring at your company, the software engineers, what is their background? What do you usually have for technology there?
When you're inventing a market, kind of like we are, we're not a new texting platform. We are the first texting platform for customer service. So we really are looking for everyone from environment all the way through just strict back end and front end separate. We've had a couple of generalists work on some projects with us. But generally speaking, we've got a team of back end, a team of front end, and then our VP of engineering is overseeing that. But we get some really great applicants with varied backgrounds who we just can't pass up. And they might be really into doing something on the front end or, managing our applications and things like that. In a startup, you kind of move around quickly. Having that specialized but still somewhat general background is what we really look for right now.
What's your office environment there? In New York City, you have such a limitation of space, the cost per square foot. It's not one of those big, huge environments that you might see on the West Coast or in other areas.
We are really blessed to be in a co-working space, which is unlike the typical WeWork, if you've ever been to one, where it's a lot of glass walls and kind of private offices. We share a very large space with Foursquare and with a company called Fueled that does application development for iOS and Android devices, and they work with some pretty big clients. We even have some overlap. There's a few other small companies in here as well, but we're one of the largest companies in the collectives. We get the advantage of having a really large office space with areas to lounge and take naps in some cases, play ping pong. We have even spa water, we call it, which is flavored water with lemon and lime and orange and things like that. So our space itself, the individual desk is not huge, but the actual office space that we have doesn't make you feel like you're in a really small office. And we have a beautiful view of all the buildings and the skyline in downtown and the Brooklyn Bridge.
Nice. I was working for a company before with offices in New York, and it seemed like every time I was on a conference call, there was some fire engine sirens or something. It's very quiet for where you are right now. So do people get a chance to focus, or is there a lot of outside noise?
There is quite a bit of outside noise. I'm actually in a phone booth right now inside of our office. We've got some really great features that we've built out, like phone booths that are pretty much silent. Anyone has access to those to go in and just work kind of heads down quiet. We also recommend everyone bring their headphones just because working in an office environment this size can get a little bit rowdy and noisy. But fortunately, we also have about 15 conference rooms that we can share, and there's no limit on them. One of which we call it the Narnia room. It looks like a closet, and you go through a door, and then you're in the back in this completely separated quiet room with a beautiful view overlooking the West Side Highway. So the engineers, they have access to quieter spaces because I know it tends to be something where you need to really focus. And one of the features of working for Teckst and being a part of, a company in New York is that you're able to work from home. Everyone has laptops. And so that way, the engineers in particular, they actually work from home on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which if you have a good enough size location, that's great, but they're optional to come into the office on those days.
Hey everyone. I don't know if you know this, but I travel over 100,000 miles every year, and I really appreciate a good set of luggage. So I'd like to tell you about a sponsor I have called Away. They have this incredible, high-quality, premium German polycarbonate hard case, and it comes in 4 different sizes. They have a carry-on, a bigger carry-on, medium, and large, and 6 different colors. I love this luggage. It has a built-in charger, so I can charge cell phones, tablets, e-readers, anything. I am always looking around for the nearest outlet. I do carry my own battery pack, but it's just not always convenient to pull it out. And I prefer to, if I'm going to be waiting somewhere for 2 hours, to find an outlet. Well, now I don't have to do that. I'm able to plug my things right into my luggage. It's very easy. Really like it. But this luggage, it has 360 wheel spinners and it's super lightweight, which is very important to me. When I'm comparing luggages, I'm always picking them up and looking at exactly how many ounces they are. So I think you'll really appreciate that. I really recommend Away luggage. It's first class luggage at a coach price. And with this special offer, you'll receive $20 off a suitcase by just going to awaytravel.com/techleaders and use the promo code TechLeaders when you're ready to check out. If you watch the videos online, you're going to see how easy it is to pack. You get a lifetime warranty with this luggage. With a 100-day free trial, I'm sure you're going to probably take as many trips as I do and be able to judge really quickly how well you love this luggage. Anyway, check it out. Go to awaytravel.com/techleaders and use the TechLeaders promo code for $20 off.
So how does the technology work with both your front end and your back end?
Before starting the technology, I went very lean startup approach and wanted to create an MVP. And when I was working on that, I gathered information, and there's kind of a philosophy that we have that our clients, our customers are actually customer service agents. And a lot of software in the kind of customer service space is very geared towards the actual end customer experience and not really thinking about the people who have to be the practitioners of that. So For us, I met with customer service leaders, customer service agents, and wanted to understand what their workflows look like. And across the board, everyone is using some form of a customer relationship management tool, such as Salesforce Service Cloud or Oracle Service Cloud, previously Oracle right now, even smaller systems like Help Scout and Zendesk. One of the things that they pleaded was, please make this, but don't make it an extra window. Please do it inside of our current system, so that way we don't have to do additional logons and lose our passwords and learn all kinds of things like that. Our base core product directly integrates with those other CRM platforms, and we worked directly with the product teams from those companies to make sure that the texting experience for the agent is as seamless as possible. So there's a lot of APIs. There's very few iframes. We try not to go that direction because there's a lot of customer data on their end that we need to get and authenticate that everything is secure. But the actual front end that you see is really built into that CRM platform that they're already using. And the back end is a mix between our own software that we developed, as well as the ability to pull the software of the client, gather that customer's name, the customer's phone number, things like that, and then unify it all together right there on the front end inside of their current CRM.
And when they are first setting this up, especially if they have all these different systems, let's just take Oracle Service Cloud for an example. They already have user IDs and they're all set up. Is it just with a set of permissions groups that you can identify how things route, how the workflows happen?
Exactly. What we start with is we like to basically make wireframes of how their customer interactions are on each of the channels. And by channel, I mean, what does an email look like versus a web chat versus maybe a tweet or a phone call inside of their actual Oracle system? Where's the data coming from? What is it pulling? What's stored? Where does it go? Are there any triggers? There's a lot of times that companies will have these automations and they've thought very carefully about them and the actual customer experience in terms of when someone may get, a response or even a survey, things like that. We first plot that out and we want to understand the differences between something like email and web chat. How do they view a channel that's a little more on demand? And then we do what we call textifying it, and obviously spelled our way, TECKST. We propose to them a way that the text message flow and triggers would go. So that way it's mimicking their other channels, but it's set up to be a success for them and for texting as a channel in particular.
How long does it take to deploy this? Because if this tight integration happens, you've got to work with the existing teams. Let's say somebody has Salesforce already installed and you need to be able to integrate with it. So what's that deployment model look like?
We like to say that we can do it in about 2 days to 2 weeks. We've had some companies that basically use services out of the box and they don't have a lot of customization. They might have a very simple customer service workflow. The thing that takes probably the longest for us, the single step, is actually text enabling their current 800 number. So we've got to go through a system essentially that says any texts to this current number will be routed through our system. And that includes texts and images and photos and videos and things like that. That probably takes up to 4 days. Everything else is our engineers working on the integration directly. And so some are very quick, a couple of days. Others take a couple of weeks. We'll even send our engineers to sit on site if there's a client who has a really, really complex system, and we can just achieve things much faster by having them sit right next to the team on the other end. And that way they can get it set up quicker.
So if I had an 800 number for one of these companies and I had not initiated any text before and I send them a text, will it initiate a case in whatever service tool they have?
Exactly. So if you're in Salesforce, it would be a case. If you're in Oracle, it would be an incident. Learning all the lingo for all the different CRMs definitely takes a little bit of time, but each of those different CRMs has their own definition of what that's like, a ticket essentially. So initiating a text message will create that case or that ticket automatically and append a little tag to it called a text tag. And that's how the system knows to send it out by phone number instead of email or a web chat. That's one of the really great things too about texting is that you can proactively send a message to someone, alert them that a case has been updated or something new has happened, and then it's automatically recorded in the place that it was at before, and you have a high likelihood of a customer actually responding with a positive response.
I assume that you then go into queues and somebody can pick it up, and you've mentioned that being able to progress to different areas.
Exactly. So imagine a main queue for a company that may have, a fraud prevention and a returns and exchanges. And the flip side of this product is it also opens up acquisition. So someone who hasn't purchased before, think of like a sporting goods or sportswear. They might not know how a particular shorts or pants or shirt may fit. So you could send a message into a main queue, and then that gets routed to essentially a shopping concierge who can then help guide them through the process of purchasing their products. And then on the flip side, if let's say it gets to their home and there's something damaged, they can text that same number. And instead of it going to the individual who is the concierge, someone on the returns or exchanges side can actually pick it up. And as far as that customer knows, they're texting with that brand. And when the agent announces themselves, they'll know their name. But in general, it's a really seamless experience with one single number to complete all interactions with that one brand.
If this is integrated as tightly into the service systems, is there any way for you to generate analytics to show customers the value? What do you have for that?
That's a great question. When I first created Teckst, I wanted it to be as invisible as possible. And what that meant was essentially an API, if you will, or a series of APIs that connected to the system of our clients already or of future clients. For someone who's using Salesforce, they might have a third-party tool like Domo or some other BI platform. We can automatically integrate with those systems. So live, a customer service decision maker or leader is able to see the call volume versus the text volume versus the web chat volume, the metrics that matter to them, like time to resolution or a first contact response, things like that, in their current analytics. However, we do have quite a few clients today who are looking for an even more robust system. So our product roadmap includes building out a full dashboard just for text and mobile messaging related analytics, things that you may not be able to pick up from another third-party system. So we'll eventually have our own, but right now we can directly integrate with other systems and our clients really like that.
And on your roadmap, and if this is not something that your company plans to go down, that's fine. Do you have any integration plans? I mean, I know Facebook Messenger. I've used Twitter DM process to reach out to United Airlines. So are there any plans for any other ways of communication than just text?
Absolutely. One of the interesting things about mobile messaging is in the US, it's around 99% of everyone in the US does texting on a daily basis. But when you go to a country like China, it's less than 1% that does texting. Instead, they're using an app called WeChat. That's what the majority of the country is on. And then in Japan, you've got Line. In South Korea, you've got KakaoTalk. So messaging, the way we see it, tends to be texting. But globally, it's a very fragmented system down to country, region, language. There's very particular nuances in terms of which platform someone may be on. If you're a global brand, let's say an airline, and you sign up for text, you would have to sign up for text plus a bunch of other services if we didn't offer those other mobile messaging platforms. Today, we offer Messenger. We're actually the best integration for Messenger that exists. So there's a lot of features that we have that it's not just a simple plug-in and that's it. We've got things like character counters, automatic link shorteners, select libraries of images so that agents aren't sending the wrong thing. So we've got a lot of really great features for customer service teams. And very soon, we're going to be adding those other platforms. They're actually in progress right now, the WeChats and the Lines of the world, so that when a brand comes to us, like we have a couple of brands we're working with now, they don't just have to do texting. Anytime a new platform emerges or they choose to go to a new region in the world, they're able to automatically connect with those customers on the mobile messaging platform of their choice through the same integration that they already have.
And with the texting, are you looking at doing any integration to any bots or any AI or machine learning? Because the knowledge bases are growing, and that's one of the advantages of doing a chat-based system is sometimes you don't know you're talking to a human or not.
Exactly. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's our philosophy, is not to replace humans, but to augment the experience. So today our system includes quite an intelligent system of automation and bots, if you will. If you message in and say, hey, I'd like to do an exchange, the system can automatically ask you for your order number. Once we get that order number, we can pull the system of the retailer that we're working with and automatically pull that up on screen into the text window so that the agent can see everything in one place and actually not have to do the double work of asking over again or looking something up. We're working on things like sentiment analysis using IBM Watson, and there's more coming in the near future, including suggested responses. a lot of customer service teams use things called macros, which are essentially canned responses to a customer. They're very basic and very helpful. However, suggesting a response to an agent can be even more helpful. And in the future, once we hit a certain level of certainty on the correct response, we'll be able to automatically send those responses on behalf of the agent.
Excellent. I love how you're going with all of the different ideas because you're not just keeping yourself into one single niche.
The way mobile messaging is going, the number of daily mobile messaging users surpassed social media in 2015. So this is, to quote Bon and Bo, a host from CNBC who we like to follow on social media of all places and mobile messaging. He says that messaging will be larger than social. And I think talking about it as an umbrella of mobile messaging is the only way to do it. And we're starting with customer service. But there's so many applications in the future where you'll be able to talk to a doctor or a nurse or even someone inside of the company for HR. There's a million different applications. And so we're focusing on bringing all of those channels into one and then making it intelligent and starting with that customer service team before we start rolling over into other parts of the business.
Excellent. And how do people find out more about the company and maybe get in touch with you or your staff?
So our website is probably one of the best places. That's teckst.com. So text.com. Or also you can email either hello@text.com, or my email is just everyone's favorite startup email, just Matt, M-A-T-T, @text.com. We're also on Twitter and LinkedIn. You can look us up on there, and we're very responsive. We've got a toll-free number, which you can actually send a text message to at any time as well. So you can call us or text us on that number.
And you've got that on the website, and you've got some demos, so I encourage people to go take a look.
Definitely. Yeah. If you're interested in testing out the product or giving us a call, that number is 855-980-6848. And the demos on the site are really helpful. Anyone interested in general of checking them out, we've managed to create quite a few self-guided demos as well, so we can share links to anyone who's interested in checking it out.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being with me today, Matt.
Yes, thanks, Cassie. I appreciate it.
I want to thank you so much for listening today. If you love this podcast, please do share it with your friends and colleagues. And please leave a review on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, because it makes a difference for circulation. For the show notes and other great info, enter your email into the mailing list at techleaderstoday.com. Thank you.